My name is Sarah. I am 32 years old. I live in Seattle, Washington. I have a good job as a marketing manager. I have nice friends who care about me. But every night, I sit alone in my small apartment and stare at a letter. The letter is old and yellow. The paper is soft and worn. I wrote it 10 years ago, but I never sent it. I keep it in a drawer next to my bed. Sometimes I take it out and read it. Sometimes I just hold it in my hands and cry. The letter is for my mother. I haven't spoken to her in 10 years. Not one phone call, not one text message, not one email. She doesn't know where I live. She doesn't know I graduated college with honors. She doesn't know I have a career. She doesn't know I published a book. She doesn't know anything about my life. And it was my choice. I chose to disappear from her life. I chose to build a new life without her. I still remember the day I left. It was raining. I packed one small suitcase. I took a bus to the train station. I didn't look back. I told myself, you don't need her. You can do this alone. But every night I think about her. Every night I wonder if she thinks about me. Does she miss me? Does she regret what she said? Does she even remember me? I don't know the answers. And that is the hardest part. 10 years ago, I was 22 years old. I had just graduated from college. I was young. I was full of dreams. I wanted to be a writer more than anything in the world. I had been writing stories since I was a little girl. My teachers always told me I had talent. My friends always loved my stories. But my mother never believed in me. One night, I told my mother I wanted to be a writer. I was so excited. I thought she would finally support me. But she laughed at me. She laughed right in my face. She said, "Sarah, be realistic. Writers don't make money. Get a real job. Marry a good man. That is your job. That is what women do." I felt like someone had punched me in the chest. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't speak. I went to my room and packed my bags that night. I didn't sleep. I just packed and cried. I left a note on the kitchen table. It said, "I will come back when you believe in me." Then I walked out the door. It was 3 a.m. The streets were empty. I didn't know where I was going. I just knew I couldn't stay. I got on a bus and didn't look back. I moved to Seattle with only $100 in my pocket. I had no job, no friends, no place to live. I slept on a friend's couch for the first few months. I worked 3 jobs. I washed dishes at a restaurant. I cleaned hotel rooms. I worked at a coffee shop in the mornings. I was exhausted every single day, but every night I wrote. I wrote stories about hope, about loss, about mothers and daughters. Writing was the only thing that kept me alive. After 7 long years, something amazing happened. I published my first book. It was a collection of short stories about family, about the things we say and the things we don't say, about love and regret and forgiveness. The book became a bestseller. People all over the country read my words. They wrote me letters. They came to my book signings. They told me my stories touched their hearts. I finally made it. I achieved my dream. I proved to everyone that a writer can succeed. But I still didn't call my mother. I thought about calling her every day. I picked up my phone so many times. I typed her number and stared at the screen. But I never pressed call. I was too angry, too hurt, too scared. What if she still didn't believe in me? What if she laughed again? I couldn't handle that pain one more time. Last week, I got a phone call from my father. He never calls me. In 10 years, he has called me only twice. So when I saw his name on my phone, my heart stopped. I knew something was wrong. I answered. "Hello?" I said. My father's voice was shaking. He was crying. "Sarah," he said, "your mother is sick. She doesn't have much time. The doctors say maybe a few weeks. You need to come home. I didn't know what to feel. I was angry. I was sad. I was scared. I was confused. 1,000 emotions ran through my head. I said, I will think about it. Then I hung up. That night, I opened the drawer next to my bed. I took out the letter I wrote 10 years ago. The paper was yellow and soft. I opened it carefully. It said, Mom, I love you. But I need to live my own life. I hope one day you will be proud of me. I hope one day you will see who I really am. I cried for hours. I cried until my eyes were red and swollen. Then I booked a flight. I knew I had to go. I had to see her one last time. I had to tell her the things I never said. I had to say goodbye. I arrived at the hospital the next morning. My heart was beating so fast. I walked down the long white hallway, room 217. I stood in front of the door for a long time. I couldn't move. Then I took a deep breath and opened the door. My mother was lying in bed. She looked so small, so weak. Her hair was gray now. Her face was pale, but when she saw me, her eyes lit up. She started crying. Sarah, she whispered, my baby, you came. I walked to her bed. I sat next to her. I held her hand. Her fingers were cold and thin. I read your book, she said. Every single page. I read it 3 times. I bought 10 copies and gave them to all my friends. I told everyone, my daughter wrote this. My daughter is a writer. I was shocked. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. You read my book? I asked. You knew I published a book? She smiled weakly. I have always known everything about you, Sarah. I read your blog. I follow your social media. I bought every magazine that mentioned your name. I have been watching you from afar all these years. Started falling from my eyes. Why didn't you ever call me? I asked. She took a deep breath. I was ashamed. I was ashamed of what I said to you. I was ashamed that I laughed at your dream. I was ashamed that I pushed you away. I didn't know how to say I was sorry, so I said nothing. I just watched you from a distance and prayed for you every night. I held her hand tighter. I thought you didn't believe in me, I said. She looked into my eyes. Sarah, I believed in you before you were born. I believed in you when you took your first step. I believed in you when you wrote your first story at age 7. I have always believed in you. I just didn't know how to show it. I was scared. Scared that you would fail. Scared that the world would hurt you. I thought if I pushed you toward a safe job, you would be protected. But I was wrong. I am so sorry. I leaned over and hugged her. We stayed like that for a long time. Neither of us spoke. We just held each other. I never sent that letter I wrote 10 years ago, but I didn't need to, because she already knew everything it said. She knew I loved her. She knew I wanted her to be proud. And she was. She always was. My mother passed away 3 weeks later, but I was with her. I held her hand until the very end, and I told her, I forgive you. I love you. Thank you for believing in me. Those were her last words. She smiled and closed her eyes. I still have that letter. I will never send it, but I will keep it forever, to remind me that sometimes the things we never say are the things that matter most. Thank you for watching. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. New story every day. See you tomorrow.